Welcome back to probably the dumbest Naneinf attempt I can imagine. We're going for not Dusk, which is the sane choice. We're going for the Sock and Pareidolia. It's going to require a miracle. First we need to rebuild everything in Ante 9. And the new thing I'm looking at now is that you can look up the Joker order from something like a judgment card. So we can potentially pull something magical out of those. And find like some extra blueprints, some extra brainstorms, colas, whatever we need. Invisible Man is actually a good shout here also. Why didn't I buy this instantly? See, hopefully I'm a bit more awake today. I'm also wondering if the stream ever freezes for anyone watching. Because it was in the recording for me last time. Hopefully that's just... I'm playing in full screen now, which means whenever I tab out I can't see the game. So it's hopefully just that. We want a photo, we need some kind of score. We also need to set up for... We need 1 million double tags before Ante 14. And we also need to handle the plant in 11. That should be easy with just some strength cards. We can make some of the Disco Queen's aces and that should be enough. It's also good for cash, technically, or potentially, if we find something that actually gives us some cash. So what are we looking for in Ante 9? I know we have a brainstorm. We probably don't have a showman for a while. Yes, we do. We have a ticket. We have a big hand size now, so... I don't remember exactly how well the bean went. But it's possible that reserved parking is better for now at least. But the main thing I need to keep an eye on is the colas, because we don't have a showman now. So if we have multiple colas here, I need to make sure I sell this one before we find another one. Idle, fantastic for score. I don't know if it's gonna be too much score for now, because we have a deck perfectly set up for it. We could just go with this guy. And maybe that with just a shadow or something is cool enough. So now, for example, I have tabbed out, so I don't know if it's frozen for you guys now. It might be. I can't see the game at all. It's a bit of a small problem. We also, of course, need to start working on the cards that we need. We need to print loads of cards to clone a guy and ectoplasms, so we can't rely on Observatory. We have to live on an idol, probably, for now at least, and potentially the other guy later, the Baron. It's like the fallback. We don't even have kings, but not that hard to handle. There is a second cola in here, which is good news. It's just very deep. Do we have the cash to get there? I don't know. Cola? Where are you? So we are in 9. We need to find... It's only 220 cards deep, it's not that bad. Right. I'm gonna just write this down. This is like one of the most important things we can do here. First one, I don't remember how deep that was, but we know we have 2. It's not unreasonable with so much cash and 3 cards in the shop. Sigil, we don't really... We probably need more cards if we can find... whatever his face is called. The Burger Man. We don't need to burn more cards. Always nice to burn cards, but... Or we already have Disco Queens, but... We have a lot of cards in hand. It's literally the entire deck. That's a good sign. The bean was good. 1 more Disco Queen acquired. We might as well just make a Disco Rock, then that's also a solution for the plant. Which we just need to make sure that we can handle. So how deep is this showman? I also don't know. Alright, we have eternal problems also, of course. 250... 258. That's doable. That is after the cola though, maybe. These are the things that I'm not capable of keeping in the brain cell. Showman 9. There we go. Is this even work? Am I even live? Sometimes it's not very clear. Yes, unlisted, of course it is. Good job. Right, so if you're catching the stream now, it was left on unlisted for whatever reasons. You probably couldn't see it until now. It's now fixed, before we get anywhere at least. Might as well try some wheels. Brainstorm, we definitely want. And we have the sock. We can get an idol if we need one. We need to make sure we have the right amount of score though, not too much. And how deep am I? Like 30 bucks with 3 cards. Like 100 cards-ish. So this guy is going to be too much if we play 5 card hands for cash. We don't have a cash setup yet though. And it would be nice to go into the first round with a way to make some cash. So where is that way? Nobody knows. Should probably not do that because we have a brainstorm that we want to be able to land with something negative. Do we even have a... There is a ticket in here. But if we get the ticket we need a sock. So reserved parking may be better. We have the massive hand size now anyway. Have I skipped the reserved parking? Probably. Would not be surprised. Alright, they appear at basically the same time. I think we had a mime, but he was eternal, so he also cannot come along for the cash shenanigans. And I also have not seen a dice. But is there a dice in the judgment cards? There's not. There is an invisible man, like 10 judgments deep, which I don't know if that is realistic. Also need to not spend too much cash. But it would be nice to have a way to make cash in the first round. We are here, roughly. We're not that far off. It's the green man. Should be like 2 rerolls off. Do we want a shad? It's also not terrible, but... I mean, this only lasts 10. We definitely don't need this guy. And we also have... What a choice. We can do both. But with the hand size, it's gonna have to be this guy. So the bean might as well stay. I should sell the cola because I don't have a... Right, I don't have a showman, so that makes sense. And we don't have a sock, so this is better. Then I think we just go for now and we get a burger next time. Do we need that many? We still need more cards, but it's really ectoplasm and the other stuff that we need to start fixing for now. So we don't have a ticket, like we can play whatever really. This is also not gonna help for this. And we need to skip animations because it will take 1,000 years. We are making what, like $100? It's not that good. And then we have... I'm guessing we can get away with just the one. 180, right, so that's fine for a while. But we need to scale up the cash by a lot. That's going to require a mime in this setup, or a dice, or both. Or we just flop over to the ticket whenever we find that. I also have not seen a single judgment card. So it would be nice to just have like a stack of fools, I guess is the way we have to do this. So we're prepared for the judgments that we may find. Second cola is good. And beyond this we have a showman, which we should probably get because he's not eternal, which is always a good thing. But where do we find a single judgment card? They're not showing up for now. And also, who do we sell for them? It's also the question now, do we want to use that many ectoplasms already? Because slamming in more blueprints now is cool, but do we want to then sell them for the next bean, or do we want to keep them and make the bean so much more complicated? This is the part that I never remember. But if we sell the photo, what else can we grab? We need... That's eternal also. The lucky cat is gonna be impossible with no dice on hand. It's a banana man. I don't really see a score option at all. Right. What if we just try... Where is the ectoplasm? It's always good to know, right? Never where you want it to be. We just only have one. It's gonna be on the burglar. It's gonna crash. Because Saturn, of course. Screen is just dead again. Okay. Just the standard old Saturn crashing everything. All I wanted to know is where the ectoplasm is. It's probably on the burglar. It's on the shad. It's going pretty well, finally. How are things on your end? Like, the last stream I didn't even have access to one single brain cell, so it can't be worse than that. Okay, well, we technically don't need the shad. Burglar is nice to have. I don't think we're going to find... So the parking is also not good. So we could just wait, but then we need to sell something. I think we can sell the shad anyway, and we literally just do this. Because we have a showman coming up. Probably. I would like to do some judgment shenanigans though, because we have there's an invisible man in a judgment pack here. Which would be nice to get more colas and stuff. It's just... we don't have the cards. Could get both cash options. Not bad. Especially if we're not gonna find like an absurd amount of blueprints. This is good actually. Cool. So we have guaranteed cash. We also need whatever this is the card we need. So we need to probably like get rid of the cryptids. Well, we will need more cryptids still to make more cards, because now we have more hands with the burglar. We don't have that many hands yet because we only have one brainstorm. So what else are we looking for? We have the one brainstorm. No, this is the dumbest Naneinf I could think of. So Dusk and playing Disco Rocks, for example, would be the sane choice. So I'm thinking I'm going to go for 340 socks, and then I'm going to magically pull a Pareidolia out of somewhere, so that we can play the rocks as a face card and Naneinf with them. It's going to be unnecessarily complicated, as always. How do we get the ectoplasm on this guy? Because now it's gonna be on something else. I'm gonna have to go back to where I bought the brainstorm, probably is the only way to fix this. Yep. Yep. Surprise. This is the wrong one. Technically only the sock, I mean. But the tricky part is, no, we are miles off. This is the dumbest Naneinf I could think of, so it's gonna take a while. So fool's good. Cola, good. We should just sell it instantly because we have... The problem is that we need an eternal sock, right? Which is fine. And cloning that a million times. Welcome, more people. I left the stream unlisted, so it's only been visible now. We could have a seltzer, but I think we don't need it. We're going for... Idle is going to be too much score. Now simple would be... That's for someone else to handle. I would like to find a million judgments just so we can use that new fancy tech. But if we have an eternal sock and an eternal Pareidolia and we start cloning, we might clone the wrong thing. So we are going to have to clone only one and then find like a judgment card set up to get the last guy at the end. So this is where we have to use the Ecto because now it only has one target. We don't need to... Oh, we need to do this though because that's the game is gonna crash. Then we can guarantee that we have that guy. Now we can just slam in wheels on everything else. This guy's being eternal is a problem. Don't need magical cards. We don't need. But we need to also start printing cards because we went with Ghost deck also because it's harder. So we need to... We need 340, I think, ectoplasms and the same amount of whatever the card is called that clones the Joker. So what's that, like 700 and 680 cards? So we need to start printing them soon. We might as well have a shad, is better than nothing. There was also, right, so we have all the options. For cash, we can make, should be a Disco Queen, now a Disco Rock. Because we also have a plant coming up in 11, so we need to have the rocks or aces maybe to live through that. So we could make aces with this. But we kind of have to... It's all queens for now. So if we want to go idle, for example, starting to change them into kings is going to be a problem. I think I've rolled way too deep now. Because I'm not paying attention, as is tradition. So it's probably better to just play around in between. Put you here so I remember you exist. Do we care about... Right, we need to do this stuff. Because it's more important that we get these things. I don't know how much you guys have used. There's a seed analyzer called Blueprint where we can see like the order of cards from a judgment, for example, from literally every source. So that means that in this ante, for example, I can get an invisible man out of a judgment card if I have like 10 of them. So if I have just a nice stack of fools. I'm making some cash, but not a lot. Like 200 bucks a hand. If we just do this also. Just have a few prepared for the future. But these are kind of counteracting each other because we want more cards in hand for this, and for this we want to play away all the cards. And not this glass guys, because we need them to live still. But maybe one is enough. The fancy glass, not Disco Queen, because it's not so bad if that breaks. And we're going to need something for score quite soon. I don't know if I want to get rid of the cryptids either, because when we get a burglar, we have loads of hands we can play. And we need the cash, like we need obscene amounts of cash. This is one of the guys that we need also. Disco Runner is pretty cool. Literally impossible to use him now though. I think we're dropping the ticket because we did find the dice also, right? And we don't have, as far as I know, a blueprint that we can sell as a cola coming up anytime soon. We also don't have a showman, so we need to sell it so that we can get more of him. That's one way to look at it. This is the card we need. So the question is if we need to start printing these now also, because we need so many. Should also just use these, because the more cards we cover in some kind of cool wheel disco effect is better. Because we want to have only the targets that we want to have ectoplasm on available for those cards. I'm just like 100% certain I'm forgetting something. Why is it so hard to find a judgment card? It really shouldn't be. Do I have to search for one? So we are in hunting 9. Apparently way more rare than I thought. There's one in Ante 8, the next one is in Ante 12. Okay, so it's gonna come down to an Emperor, maybe. Or we can't do it. I really want one in the next Ante though, for reasons. Because if we can't do the double tag setup now, we can't get retcon and we can't do more beans, and that's a problem. So, terrible cards, courtesy of the showman. So there was a dice here also. Again, we could go idle, but I think it's gonna be too much score. It's just, this is the tricky part where we need to score not too much, but enough to survive. And then we need to also ramp up and do all the cool. We have a judgment card, nice. So it's gonna have to be burn a fool for a wheel. But then I have the problem of I want to keep 3 different cards, and this guy is not gonna be on board with that. Basically 100% guaranteed. Well, there's even more of them, right? So, do we need the photo? We can probably live on the glass cards. Then we need to look in. We are in hunting 9. It's really only relevant if I can get 10 of them. Because that guy is not gonna do a whole lot. Disco dice. But we literally had a not eternal dice a few seconds ago. So why is it now an eternal disco dice? Or have I missed one? Because that also would not surprise me. So we had the parking, we had that guy, we had a burglar, we had the second cola, we had the showman. Because now we don't have a... Like now I'm just digging to see if the dice exists at all. It does, it's just very deep. Is that worth? Maybe not. I mean, we don't need this guy for sure. And it guarantees that we actually get the cash and we now have a burglar. So, it would be better to have a mime also. For even more cash, but now we can probably leave this until we don't want to level up plus 5. It turns out. Don't know if I care about the cryptid, but keeping it for now. to make space. It's too many cards to clone. So now we're making what? 300 bucks a hand? Not bad, but it's not great. But we can ramp this up with blueprints and stuff. And I still need to remember to actually play a real hand at the end to score. I didn't have that much score to begin with. Or do we just throw in a cool rock? You chose the perfect time to be late though, because I forgot to make the stream publicly visible, so everyone missed the start anyway. But from last time I've basically made one change, because we went into the bean with like one joker slot spare. So I went back in time and I made sure that we used one ecto less instead. So now we are at the 9. Working on the cash. I want to print judgment cards because I've seen some colas in the judgment queues. But that's going to require many judgments. And we also need ectoplasm and this thing. We probably don't need them now. And we probably also don't need the cryptid now, although we do need to make more cards to make more cash when we have more blueprints for the burglar, but that can wait. So there is an invisible man in a judgment in this ante, but I need 10 judgments. It's probably not worth going for. I'm gonna say it's always too late to do that, because that sounds like a strat that will take me 4 million hours. There's a way to do that faster. That's fine. I think we just move on to 10. We have... Like, I haven't seen that many blueprints or brainstorms around these antes at all, which is the problem because it's just ramping very slowly. So where are they hiding? And where are all the colas hiding? Use the mime at least for more cash. There's one more cola in the next ante. But just... do we have to live with just one brainstorm for now? I guess we just play. I'm gonna trust my notes. And I'm just gonna use the cryptid, I think, on the rock, probably. Because, again, we have a plant coming up. We can also make some more glass cards just to have them, because with this thing we don't care about gold cards either, actually. So it could be that the strat is just to print judgments for now, and we can... Like, if my notes are right, we can get a cola in 10, a cola in 12, 2 invisible men in 13, a negative photo, a blueprint in 14, and some more shenanigans. It's gonna require just a lot of cards. And the cash is not amazing, but it's also not terrible, so maybe we can make do. I think I made a bit less cash also when I went back, because I had to throw the sock out to have room for stuff and things with one less ecto. And we are literally just living by the grace of a single glass card. You can find one that I don't want to use the disco once until I have to. But can I mean, I have to do that by banning, right? There's no way I can just play the game and somehow magically only unlock Blueprint and Brainstorm. Okay, we already need to ramp up. We already don't have enough score. We could go idle. I mean, he should be all over the place, right? It's not... I don't even remember if it's rare. Alright, we are in 10. So we're going for the cola. And how deep is the cola in the... in the judgment. That was pretty deep, I think. It's like 50 cards deep, that's not gonna happen. Right. I'm still not sold on the idol. I mean, we are gonna need him to score. But it's still possible to, with the negative mime, to go into Baron. Is just gonna be a hassle to change the cards. But what can we do for score? Now I need to find something. All I see is banana, but I haven't unlocked that because we haven't played with the normal banana. There's a lot of eternal stuff. That's just a massive problem. We could live off a sock if we find one. More shads. We could make steel cards also. There is a photo in here that's gonna have to do. It's kind of deep also. Yeah, until 11 we have either this or we make glass aces. But I figured this is better because then we don't mess with the idol. With the hand size this is better, right? We don't need a ticket. We could make more rocks also. I don't know how many I have. That's 5. Because I think I want to not print cryptids. No, we just want to make the judgments so we can do cool things. In Ante 12, hopefully we have enough cards to maybe get it done. Since we also have the showman we can find, we're going to roll in the shops anyway, so... Also need all the wheels to cover all the nerds and effects. That's a bad one. I'm also wondering, because with this, if we... But the problem is if we're going idle, we're going to need a sock anyway. So then we don't want this thing. And with this thing, it doesn't matter if they're gold cards, but if we play them... Yeah, but then I need to know when to cycle the showman. The problem in this is that since we are on black stake, we have many eternal problems along the way. So many of the jokers that I want, we simply can't have. That's not gonna happen either. We could make... This would work with a single wild card, right? But I think we can just dig for this guy. Okay, that's fine. But then we have to burn something, and it's gonna have to be the dice probably, because... Or can we get out... When is the next... The next brainstorm I've written down is in 13. It's pretty bad. And blueprint in 12. And I don't know if we have another showman before that. This is the tricky part. How do we juggle all the things well? I don't know where those are either. I know there's an eternal negative DNA in 16 and the mime in 18, which is doable. I did also see a smear joker negative in the judgment queue, maybe. But if we don't have any brainstorms and stuff anyway, the blueprint in 11 is also eternal. Like, we're going to need the invisible man or something to make this work. I don't remember how I did this. But we did stencil, which must have been on black stake, so it's doable. An invisible man, have I written these down? In 11? I have. Or just have a smear joker in 15. Seems doable. Should have bought that. Parking, because is immune to ectoplasm. The secret flush 8. Or straight, whatever, but... I mean, they should implement some backdoor strats. I want to buy this guy. Because we're looking for a photo. I'm going to have to sell something anyway. And it's going to have to be this, right? So, just save the cash. Burn the guy. Another one. Saving an absolutely cursed amount of cash. This is score. I mean, I'm up for some blocking. It's just gonna be tricky. There was an idol also in the previous ante. In the judgments, I think. Oh, there we go. That's good enough for now. And in 10 we have, what did I say, a cola still? Maybe. We have written down so many things. It's hard to keep track of now. 1 in 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's... Did I actually even get the bean in ante 16 in the stencil video? Because it could be that we just skipped it because it was hard with all the eternal stuff. It's not unthinkable. I was thinking about the judgments also, if there's anything worth grabbing. Like if there's a score option. Also not the worst idea. Not in this, aren't they? Maybe in the next one. Not really. We have a fist. A negative banana. But not the good one. Right, so that means that we should probably not... I mean, we can still dig for... see what we can do with the double tags, but it's unlikely to work. I guess. That's what we're going to have to settle for. But we can try the judgment stuff anyway. Since... yeah, if we can find him. Then we need to score also. We could run a disco card. Or we could just run multiple of these. With some rocks, maybe. Do a save. Play a hand. That's fine for a while. Oh yeah, that's the bean we had is now dead. Surprise. So we have in here another aura. We got the photo. Is there one more? We haven't had the cola here yet. So we can go for that. There is another dice. A big brain idea. I think we just do this also. Get the sock man involved. Cola, of course, instantly after. But how do you Naneinf with that guy? Because he cannot be eternal, right? That's the one of the things. So there is actually an idol coming up here, which is cool. Not eternal, so that solves a lot of things. But what do we... It's going to have to be just a sock, right? Yeah, that works. We can definitely do that at some point. I mean, we have crazy, I think, is well established at this point. I'm not even gonna argue against it. There's another dice, that's decent cash, right? That's good enough. Don't need... We should really use wheels, just to make sure we don't have ectoplasm problems later. Spare ore I might as well use. Where's this dice? Okay, cool. We can just slam in more auras on the queens, because why not? That's 3 of them disco now. But I'm wondering if we can get, like, if this works with the judgments in this run. There's 1 extra cola in 12. There's 2 invisible men in 13. A blueprint in 14. That's potentially 4 tags. On top of whatever we can find in the shops. I also haven't looked beyond 600 cards, so I don't know if there are any deeper blueprints in some of these antes, because we are already at the limit here. So we could continue to dig and see what we find. It's just slow. Or we should not have them. Now we're making more cash with the dice, which is cool. And then we just need to, probably don't even need this, but let's just see where we are. If we play 1, not disco glass cards, so we save them and we play like disco normal queen. Push 5. My scroll wheel is pretty broken also, so I can't really... The start was on Tuesday and it was absolutely horrible, like literally the worst plays I've ever done. I'm normally pretty bad, but it can get really impressively bad. It's pretty loud, but we have... Wait, do we not even get to see the score until the cash is done? Come on, game. Gives you time to do some quick head math. It's not even in the ease. Also, the animations are kinda slow. I'm gonna go with it's still worth to do as many double tags as we can, because that means that we can at least get the bean for 24 if we care. I mean, I don't really know what's up this week, because it's not that warm here anymore, and that was really what I thought I was tired from, but I'm just giga exhausted and I don't even have access to the brain cell, and then it's bad. Single brain cell, manageable. No brain cell, then we have a problem. More dice, more wheel. Even with the wheel, dice is just not gonna work. Right. How many judgments do we have even? We have 8. And if we want the cola, could get this thing in also. But then what do we sell? Because this is way more cash. But we don't have room. We need score. These are probably better cash than the... Or is it better to throw the dice for the mime? Because that gives a 1 in 2 chance, but it re-triggers also. Is more stupid crazy brain more good? Maybe it is. Cookies sounds like a big brain plan. I guess we just burn this and gamble on the one. I got the new fancy tech also with showing it on screen. Did that emperor just become an emperor? So we can skip animations again. Showman. I mean, we should do the showman, but because we are on Black Stake, we have Eternals. Oh yeah, but then I have to move him and do the things and stuff. Maybe we don't have to. One idol is enough and we can just move him before. I don't want to do it with animations, is the thing. Showman is trickier than normal here. Blueprints, everything is harder because Black Stake. So everything I want is Eternal. So it might be worth to just dig beyond the cards here, see if we can find something else while still keeping it not that expensive. More people, welcome. Trying for the dumbest Naneinf I could imagine. I mean, ice cream is kinda like having the cookies that the chat person is having. I don't know if this will ever pay off, but more cola, cool. So we have extra valuable things. Then again, we have the problem, what do we sell? Because we need the colas to potentially get the cool double tag. This is common, because now I can't see the shop now either, because I'm only searching 600 cards deep. That seems insane enough for me. But we can do a save. This is the most likely thing. We can, but what would we... Well, you want to block colas, you mean? So we get more of them. I'm gonna sell this now just because it's the most likely thing we can find again. And we can also live Järven Mime instantly afterwards, right? This is what we have save scums for. It's like, I am on board with Joker blocking, I just don't know where I would do it. Block negative ice cream. What, so like have an ice cream. Can you see that in Blueprint also though? Like, can you just see... Because you can look at tags, for example. Is there a common tag? And I don't know if that is equal to the order that the Jokers would be in the shop anyway. But then we needed to have an ice cream before the ice cream. Don't know if we have one. This also just means going back very far. I mean, if we could use natural negatives as a setup for negatives that we want, that is some absolute galaxy brain stuff, so that sounds very cool. But I can only do that with having an ice cream beforehand. And we will kind of melt the ice cream in hands. As I don't see one in this ante at all, so even if we had one, it would have been used up by now, because we want the cash. But we can keep that in mind for future natural negatives, because we definitely have more of them. Because, like, if we can fix that, the deck looks pretty good, I think. It's all queens, some disco rocks, some disco glass queens that we need to make more of also. We don't have enough, really. But if Blueprint can show basically everything else, surely we should be able... We just have to ask the... There's a guy on the Discord who knows this stuff. Maybe there is, I don't know. But that's definitely like, this is the kind of next level stuff. Do I want more wheels for one judgment? Sure. Also, how far do we want to dig for random things? 70 bucks maybe. Let's just move on. But this is like, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time digging through what negatives could be midstream, but that's something to look at in between. Is it better to re-trigger the mime or this? I don't know. Cash is way down with that. Like like $100. That's better for sure. I mean, I'm gonna have to transform to an actual goat at some point in time. But that would be me, probably. With the single brain cell, sometimes I don't even know who I am, where I am. Oh yeah. But is the idol enough without any retriggers? It should be, right? Let's just do a save. I don't trust myself at all. And we need to have... I should not... We have some that are not disco. So I think we should just use those first. Oil. It's just, it's so hard to see also this stupid hand. Disco, disco. We have... not glass disco. Maybe the rest of them are all disco. We don't even need glass. Well, they all play twice, I suppose. Okay, but we are going to be outscaled by that quickly. 11, so... the only thing I've added looking for is the judgment cards. And here I think we have nothing really relevant. We have... so this is the... yes, but we have the rocks, so we could get like a Dusk or whatever for that. Maybe even enough shads. I think previously my solution was just glass aces. We could fix that with a few strength cards. That means that the idol will troll, but it's an option. Where is this judgment thing? So we have 6 cards deep in the judgment. We have Pareidolia, so we can get that and just find the sock. But I think it's better to just hold on to the judgment so we can spend loads of them next ante for a cola. But now I'm looking at 2 different seed finders or seed analysis at the same time, and my notes and the stream and whatever else. So we need to beat the plant. There's shads. There's also an eternal blueprint here, which is a shame. There is a Dusk, so that we can solve it with the Disco Dusk rocks. Yeah. And save Pareidolia for later, just because it is still the dumbest thing I can imagine. So I have to do it. That's the way this works. But then who do we burn for Dusk? Do we burn the idol and just get him back later? Because if we can continue to make cash, that's a good thing. Sure, we now live on Disco Rocks alone. It's an eternal Pareidolia. We have ectoplasm, so we don't need one more. But there's another brainstorm in not for a while actually, right? But I remember actually around here somewhere. It's very easy to just throw away the showman, as we always do, as we should. But then there is a streak of way more blueprints and not a showman, so we need to actually carry his face hole for a while. Or we don't get the blueprints and then we have problems, because we are already not printing any spectral cards really. We need to ramp that up if we need to print like 700 of them while still somehow scoring. So there's blueprints in all these antes. I don't know which ones are eternal. Just to get a cryptid to make more of something. More glass cars or whatever. Just burn everything and have a stencil. Also possible. Okay, good, we're landing some of the wheels. So this guy, like... Is it worth just having that along for the ride, or is it just... It means we can't do the clean setup at the end, unfortunately. But finding enough blueprints and skipping all the eternal ones. We might have to do beans without selling negatives anyway, if it's going to be that hard to find options. So that is the only... Is there a cola here also? There should be, right? Just too many notes. There is one. And in 12 also, and in 13. Yeah, then we could go back for that, go back in time. There is also an invisible man. And like, that's the... He's not gonna be helpful, of course, but that's like the solution. Oh, maybe it's not. We could have kept them, but then we have to go back a million years. So we're keeping these so we don't want the dice. Yeah, but that's... Normally I know I can replace the blueprints and it's not that hard. Now it is hard. I don't think we can get the blueprints if we do. Like, we have a blueprint in the next Dante, the one after that. Next showman everything down is in 16. But is the Crimson Bean better when you burn everything, or is it better to do it like a vaguely sane player? Which will probably never be me, but... It's another problem with all... I mean, we can just get an Ecto in the store, realistically. I think we go now. And we come back in for... Just so many cards. I don't really know what I'm doing currently. But that's the thing, we can keep them if we want to. Did we make... Where's the Disco Queen? Disco Glass Queen even. They're gonna break anyway, we might as well have them. And we should play... Because only counts face cards. Playing the rocks means slightly more cash. And this is not the big bad plant guy, so we're fine. As long as I remember that I have limited hands. That's the ice cream that exploded, right? I don't. But if we're going to go back to the early bean and keep the negatives, probably better that I just slam in that quickly on my own at some point. Kinda don't want to go back though, because it takes so much time. Was the ice cream died, so everything shifted. That was terrible. Alright, because now we have Dusk, so we need the glass cards, right? That makes sense. Let's just pretend that nothing happened, as always. Glass Queen. Glass Queen. Glass Queen. Normal Disco Queen. Do we need to retrigger the Dusk? Can't see the blind now, but this is more cash. Let's just try like this. I played the rock earlier because in this round we make more cash from this by not having the rocks in hand, but in the next round we 1000% need the rocks. So we will need more cards also, because when we have more blueprints, burglar is more hands. Yeah, we have one. It's just I'm printing judgments now to try to print colas and get more double tags. Still don't know if that's a sane approach. And this is the showman that you wanted to throw out. I actually want to throw him out even more now, but he's gonna stay for a while. I don't know of any souls beyond this guy. Or is there one in like 27 or whatever, 37? I know there's some like insanely late dude. This is also a thing we could bring. Give me the cryptids. So I said there was an invisible man, right? But we have one spare ecto. So this now, we definitely need this. Burglar and this is better than the mime, I imagine, so we could get this guy and he could, unlikely, but possibly be a brainstorm or a cola. I think he's gonna be a perky or a showman, but I guess we have to bring him. I'm gonna make a note. Like, this is how serious I have to be with my stupid runs. Write down the save for the invisible man, burn the mime. Should be the showman. It's not gonna be the showman. Because I just want to keep him around so that I can see all the blueprints and brainstorms and stuff. So we know... Well, I can see in the shop. Another one. We could drop our ability to make cash for a few rounds. So the double tags, the only way to get retcon before Ante 16 is with like a full screen worth of double tags. So then we can do a bean in 16. There's not negative tags in this one actually, but it could be. Do we just... I'm just gonna do double invisible. This is gonna go horribly wrong. We're going to have invisible man become invisible man, and then the other one becoming a showman. That's the only way I see this going. Also eternal, of course. But like, now we know. Burger will come back, he's easy to find, at least that's the good news. The bad news is that now we are relying on the invisible man. It's always a terrible idea. I'm gonna just make more glass cards. And a couple of more rocks. Just in case. And then we really just need to get to the final hand now, right? There's a voucher tag, so we just get 1,000,000 vouchers. That's the big brain idea, maybe. So surely the rocks are enough, because if they are not enough, we can't beat the... we can't beat the plant either. Right. And that means the only other solution I see to the plant is to have glass aces with Dusk. But then we need a couple of strength cards. Because for this round we're fine, we can just play glass cards also. I mean, there's a million details to this. I don't remember them from one run to the next either. Like, what's the first judgment in this, Ante? First judgment is a fist. That is not going to help. Trade showman for a worse showman. More wheel is more good. Face. Not a face, it's a photo. Also not gonna help. Make more rock. But now we're also making less cash, which is not nice. Get me the wheels. I think we have to gamble on just finding a strength card before. Because we can strength 2 and then make more, and we should have enough. Now we need Dusk, we need glass cards. But how many glass cards? 3 glass card, 2 rock. So I refuse to do the math, so it's just 2 or 3 glass cards is good. That's all the math we need. Okay, so... But now, outside of finding 2 strength cards, we are dead. Not the best position to be in, but... Better to just have the Fool, right? So we can do... more strength cards if we find one. And if we are incredibly lucky, because this is... we're rolling deeper than I ever look. So there is also the off chance of finding a brainstorm or whatever. Which is not very likely. Baron, also perfectly timed for the plant. We have a strength card. Gonna have to burn a judgment. And we have a backup stack of fools. So this is the big brain play. Have the fools so we can make judgments or whatever else we need. So now we can beat the plant. I'm just gonna... we go into the next ante with 2 invisible men hooked and ready. That's gonna be terrible. There's just no way that ever goes well. Like, mathematically impossible. Judge, we don't need them, but I'm using a different seed analyzer where I can see what the cards in Judgment, like the order of jokers, so we can hopefully like pull a blueprint, a cola or 2 for double tags, invisible men. So it's not something that we need, but I figured it would be fun to try. Because it has potential to be useful. So now we need... I mean, they should be disco, right? Even though I can't see it. We do strength. And then we sort by rank because I can't see them because we have too many cards. Now we have aces that are playable. Now we magically have 5 aces, and then we just need the last hand. Ace. Why is it so hard to click the cards? Shouldn't we have 5? Am I blind? We can throw in a rock though, that's fine. Yeah, but the rocks were not enough. That's the problem. In the previous round. But aces are fine. And we can delete them because they are glass cards. This is also a problem where to land the double tags, we kind of have to buy all the vouchers. So if we don't, and I really don't want to buy this one because that makes the shop even more problematic than it already is. Oh yeah, this guy, right, we have an actual thing to do. Now we can see them taking bets, like... I'm guessing Invisible Man becoming Invisible Man, and then Showman. I mean, they're disco and fancy, they should taste good. Unless it's like some kind of, like, super toxic candy that will burn you from the inside out. There's another cola in this, aren't there, which is good. It's a negative bull we could use. A blueprint that's not eternal. And in the judgment we have cola, but it's like 50 cards deep, so that's not gonna happen. Right. The judgment strat is not good. It's a Dusk, perfect, and a Perkio, nice. But we can save them for buying another Joker, right? That's possible. We can also juggle out the Dusk relatively easily. But how are we scoring now? Glass cards will still do for a while. Cola good. What if one of them became Dusk? When is the next? Oh yeah, we should just sell and see, right? That makes sense. But when is the next showman? Because we can find the finding the blueprint here is fine. We don't need the showman for that. But I do need to kind of vaguely plan. Reserve parking is always easy to get back. Dusk should not be that hard to find either. There is probably a sock around now that we can play the face cards. There's also an idol, right? So we're fine. But when did I write down the next showman? Because the next showman, I'm kind of only writing down the lazy options. So the next one I've written down is until 16, which is kind of far. It's 1 in 13. Alright, this is only searching 300 cards, right? I have the wrong... Am I looking at the right seed? Okay, we have more of them. But then the problem is still, do we have them before the extra blueprints? That I don't know. Let's just sell this, and this, and this. Do a save. Because if we can pull 2 brainstorms. This is exactly what I thought would happen. Good news is that he is still cooked. This guy is now uncooked. We can sell the other one first. It's also... Because this is... Like my best short ever has exactly that problem. I can change the order. I can sell this one first. They will. Yeah, they are incredible, right? But we can do... What if we do this? It's just always gonna be a problem. I think I have maybe a solution though. What if we do this? We buy you. We have a showman so we can see more, so we can't beans the colas. It's impossible, unbeansable, all the fancy words. But we have a blueprint, like... So we're gonna have to sell the bull anyway for reasons. But if we just buy the blueprint, we have like a tiny fraction of a chance for this to be good. So I know that one of them wanted to be Dusk, one of them wanted to be the showman. So now it's gonna be Bull and Perkio. Is it this one that does not become... It's now a bull, of course. Cola is actually acceptable. Because that's another double tag. This is like... the worst guy in the universe. The Invisible Man. This one, this becomes another invisible. Yes. And this becomes Perkio. What the shad inf? I mean, that's... Are we live again? Maybe. Can I just start on the same stream? YouTube generally does not want me to boot up the same thing. Well, let's just see. So it should be like we are back. So this is a... Because the resolution has been weird on recordings, I'm now playing Balatro in full screen. That means it goes black every single time I do something else, like look at the seed analyzer, look at my notes. And eventually that just explodes, so I think I'm gonna have to go back to... Well, I don't want it to be stretch res either, like it does not want to reformat properly. But it's not playable in full screen. Problem is, this is my resolution, and if I go windowed, I'm not allowed to change the resolution. Why, I don't know. I could play it on another monitor. Maybe that's the solution. Right. Can you see the stream? You can. What was my resolution? Now it's terrible. And then we go back to windowed. Why is it small? Okay. This is going to be super complicated. But it works. So, used to have the game on the middle monitor, which makes sense. Now it's on the left one. I need the notes. Like if we could find a way to not make this so incredibly complicated every single time, that would be nice. But it is working, at least. For now. And it should not explode if I do this. If I run it like this. We are on day 12. Ghost Steak, Black Steak. Run all the analyzers again because they also exploded. Surprise. Magic up things so we can see the stuff. Like that. We don't need to see that many cards, maybe. I mean, we could. Not like he has a purpose in this at all. Right, so what was the plan? The ball was bad. You were bad. You were bad. Blueprint good. Save, which I can now do without crashing my monitor, which is nice. But now, of course, I don't remember. This is gonna become an invisible man. You are gonna become Perkio. Cola. Cola is acceptable. Because we are looking for double tags. I'm using the good old... this one. It's just more complicated on... That one is always gonna be Perkio, apparently. Refuses to be anything else. I guess we just go with one cola and leave the other guy. It's the wrong one. It's never gonna work. It's like when I come back in, I don't remember which one I even used first. That's good, and we save this guy for a while, and we just see what happens. We don't need to have 2 colas though. But now we can maybe keep going. Also, I'm using the wrong link to search. Because I have less cards. This is the one. And we are on Ghost Steak. We are on Black Steak. Yeah, I don't know how any of this works outside of PC. I'm assuming it's just more of a hassle, especially with mods and stuff. Until 12, we did get the Blue Storm, the Brain Print, whatever. 12, I have written down exactly one of those guys. There is also a cola, which with the Showman... Oh, we bought that already, we had the bowl. Right. Blueprint. Sock we can do for score. But really the key thing is just we have to ramp up the blueprints without using the Eternals. I think that's more important than the double tags even. Because if we don't have enough blueprints, we're not going to be able to do that big of a bean anyway. And keeping the Showman here is good also, so we can find more Judgment cards and slam them in. There is a Brainstorm in here, but it's Eternal. It's pretty bad. But we had until 12 a cola, but that's like 1 million. I've lagged Blueprint to a standstill also. We are trying to set up for the dumbest Naneinf I can imagine. It's quite a while off. We need to do, or rather I'm trying to do Disco Rocks, re-triggered by 340 socks, and then a Pareidolia to make the cards playable. Do we need an idol? Maybe we do. Oh, the sock is enough, right? We might as well have him in case we don't find it. So we are like miles off getting this to work. I should have ectoed this guy, right? Because now it's not gonna be on... It's like no way it's gonna go on the right dude. Yep. Surprise. We're back here. So these guys are immune. Is it you? That's the good one? No. Nope. One of these days it's gonna work. I'm doing the same move, so the left one first. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, but we have to juggle these nerds first. Do I have to sell you also for this to work? That's the best Invisible Man I can... They both looped. Invisible Man became Invisible Man, which then became an Invisible Man. That is peak Balatro, honestly. I don't think I can ever top that. Sell you, sell you, sell you. But which one first? Not that one. Right one first. I mean... yeah, that's the plan. So I did this, I kept the Showman, I sold the right one. And then the left one is a cola. No, it's a Showman. Why is this now not working? It worked like... We got a cola out of him, at least. Did I buy the... This is the one, maybe. So burn you. Grab this guy. That's a cola. That's fine. We keep this guy because he's a problem. Now we save again, so we don't have to do that madness. Then we get this on the cola anyway, or the Invisible Man. I mean, I'm not surprised. We can just burn him, that's fine. The save didn't work, perfect. We did this. I kept that guy. That's the cola, that's good. Burn you. Then I have to do this also, because this is the only way we only have one target. Now it works. Magic. Only took like half an hour to do. Okay. And that's working. Where am I? Notes. So the good news is that in the next ante, if we keep the judgments, we have 2 invisible men that we can have a bad time with. First one is only 4 cards. There's also a natural negative photograph. That's a pretty cool pull. So 21 is what we need for that. Okay, but do we have anything else? Is there anything of value in 12? I know we have blueprints. We grabbed 1. If there are more, I'm assuming... I saw an eternal brainstorm, right? I have not written down any invisible men. That means we don't really need to care. We just need cash options and we can keep going. We also need to decide with the voucher, because I don't want that voucher. But if we don't buy it, that's 1 more that we have to print to try to get the... What's it called again? Retcon. So I think we're going to have to buy that before we leave. And I have spent too much cash. Also, it shouldn't be that hard to find reserved parking, right? Because we still have a stupid amount of cards. Welcome. Nice to see some more cool people. This is a bit of a train wreck currently, or madness rather, but that's kind of expected. Oh yeah, where is the negative smeared? You're gonna have to remind me, because there is no way I will remember. I guess we just do 1 with this, but we don't have a... We have this for score. Is that enough? With just glass cards, it should be. Shad, sure. This is also technically cash, right? More madness is more good. I'm gonna write down the 15 also, I haven't. And were you able to check what the smear will be, or is it just like hoping that it will become something that's useful? Now we can print more things. We have currently 15 judgments, so we only need 5 more. We don't have a burglar, right? That's what we're missing. But we can now do... It should still all be on the ticket, right? Because the cards play 3 times anyway. And we should not score. No, good. Also have a lot of glass cards now. They're gonna blow up as we go, so that's probably fine. It also means that reserve parking is better, because we don't need gold cards for that. And now we do you. And we need... We don't need that many glass cards now, right? There should be... Do we not have the normal disco one? Yeah, but then we need room for all those jokers, which is gonna be tricky. So what if we just play... A normal flush 5 is fine for like 1 or 2 more antes maybe. Or for this ante at least. More golden ticket is more cash, which is more good. Wheel is never gonna work, but then how far should I guess we stick with the judgments until we have enough brainstorms that it's worth to start printing cards. So we can go for ante 13, and 14 has a blueprint in the judgment. I don't know how deep. It's only like 5th. Okay, that's very easy. But then we need to have the showman, so this is the problem. We can't just burn him. As much as I want to burn him. Don't really have any. We have 2. I mean, it would be nice to have a few more on the off chance that we find something to use them on. The mime is good. He's also not eternal. Parking. It's more good. There should be a mime also, but maybe this is way deeper. Or have I blown past the mime without even realizing? Because I have literally no idea where I am in the shop. I'm just gonna keep going until the cash looks like I should have moved on. Because we don't have a good way to make lots of cash currently. We don't have like... We need a burglar either way. Preferably want a mime with this. Or we just keep these. Disco thing. I think we have to play around. I'm just gonna spend all the money looking for nothing. $200, big money. I'm spending way more than we're making now. And then we have to do this at least. Alright, we have the aces also, but that doesn't work with this guy. Get rid of those as well at some point. Oh, this should be fine, right? Some cool disco queens, but we're going to also run out of disco red steel queens. There are so many problems everywhere currently. I just need to remember to play the aces. I mean, I'm sure he can. More judgment is more good. Maybe. Probably want this also for as a mime. So now this is just better than the sock, so we don't need the ticket, which is good. So I'm guessing there's no point digging now. We could, I mean, we could like find a dice or whatever, but I have no idea where they are. I haven't not planned for dice, even though it would be super useful right now. I think we just hold on to the cash and we go to the next ante where we can do things with the judgments, and then hopefully we can... No, because he's super lost currently. We should also buy the voucher, right? I think I have to, unfortunately. And if it doesn't work, we can go back to here, but then I'm gonna have to do that in between because it's so super slow. We don't have a burglar, but we have parking. Does it matter to do one on the mime now? Maybe it does. Making more money at least. And then we need the sock. And only really the disco cards matter. I forgot the aces again. Or can we do... Alright, boss blind. Oh, more people, cool. I'm doing reasonably well. Hope everything is well for everyone else also. I'm just super lost in this currently. Only one hand type. Right. So. How many aces do we have? It's gonna have to be +5 all the way, right? Anyway. Oh yeah, we can discard also, right? We still have this stupid hand size also to work with. I mean, it is the perfect amount of cards, technically, I guess. That's an ace. Queen. Queen. How many glass cards do we need? That's the question. Okay, now we can do Judgment shenanigans, probably. We have... In Ante 13, we have an invisible man early on. Could get him, like, literally now out of Judgment cards. And the photo, I guess, is pretty cool. So we just use... Don't need a drunk man. Don't need an astronomer. Don't need a supernova. Could use an invisible man. Magical. I mean, again, I don't have any high hopes for him being useful, but we need a miracle to save this. So we have Blueprint and Brainstorm in this Ante also. It's just they are probably eternal. Negative half man. But we have actually an even cooler thing in the judgments also. Get the cola first. Let's see if we can, because if we can find a blueprint first, well, there's a brainstorm that's not eternal cool, so we can do the stuff and things. But what do we sell? It's just... Restart parking is easier to find. But can I see what we have coming up? Because we don't want to go without making cash. There is a showman here also, so we could burn him actually. Yes, but I'm not seeing one in the shop until super late. But I guess that's the way to do it still. There's also loads and loads and loads of invisible men here, so I think we have to save the showman and just gamble. Wheel's pretty good. Disco Cola, nice. But now if we find a blueprint, a brainstorm, cool. I mean, it's gonna have to be the cola because we don't have enough blueprints anyway to make into things. We buy you, we do a save. And I guess we just fire the ectoplasm. It has a 50-50 chance to work, so it's gonna be the invisible man. Literally every time. We can wait 2 rounds, probably. The visible man. Yep. I guess that's what he is normally then. If he's invisible when he's disco idol also. We can still live on glass cards. Probably. We have 1 more brainstorm. I guess we just move on again. Still no burglar. Ectos being a we don't have a way to make cash now either, so literally just go. Can play these again to get rid of them. Was a good idea. A flush house is enough. Cool. We don't need the mime if we don't have cash, but I think we just... What if we just don't reroll and we cook this man first and then we grab the other one? Can manually delete an ace. So everything is just a mess now. Should make more disco queens because they are cool. Ace. Okay, now we have the next problem. We have the invisible man again. I'm gonna go, he wants to be a showman. He wants to be a brainstorm, perfect. That means we can get away with 2 ectoplasms and now suddenly we are actually live, sort of. Because we have only 1 target. Perfect. We have loads of ectoplasms. But now magically I have 2 more brainstorms. And the cool thing is we can also do... Not this guy. This is pretty cool. And we can actually spawn 1 more invisible man out of judgment cards also, if we really wanted to. And get this guy. Is invisible man the new way to do this? Just who cares about Eternals if you have an endless army of invisible men doing the bad stuff. There's also a blueprint we need to grab, and it should be pretty close. And it should not be Eternal. Okay, so we went from what? 2 invisible men trolling, now we have 5 brainstorms. Does it not have that also? But now we're making no cash. And this is also, now I would have liked a cola. So that I could burn some of the blueprints maybe, because... There's literally 1 more in the shop, not that far away. There's dice. Right, so we can roll for reserve parking and we probably should. I guess I should make this negative also. But now it's gonna be the invisible man again. Yes, if it can be the invisible man, it will be the invisible man. Yes, but I'm also looking at the invisible as, like, they can be a cola, they can be a blueprint. Oh yeah, we can go fast. I mean, I'm skipping animations, so that's... Or if you mean moving the mime after, that's... We would have to speed that up somehow, that's true. Yeah, we need the cash, that's... Right, so you're saying just ignore this guy. I mean, he's on 0 anyway, so that makes sense. And we can do it's only on -6. Because now we also have the decision now where... Well, we can get... We can slam in an ectoplasm and we can get... Whatever we... Reserve parking and a dice in now. Or we can not use more ectoplasms so we don't have more bean problems and we can use them after Ante 16. That's kind of the decision now, I guess. Do we use ecto? And we will just have to do whatever we can with the bean. I want to hold on to the judgments for the next until we have a blueprint. It's only 5 deep though, so we can actually sell most of this. Actually, is there a cash option in here? I might as well. While we have them, like, why not? After the photo we have literally nothing, right? Burger Man would be good. More Invisible Man. If I don't find anything else, fine. Well, Burger Man. Okay, we are looking at a way to do the cash. We also have, we're living on Sock photo for now. There should be a reserve parking. Not that deep. There we go. Right. So it's gonna be the dice, I guess, because mime parking pretty good. We get hands to make the cash and we keep these for score. And then I just want to not miss anything here. I think we have another brainstorm. Or maybe not. Maybe I already grabbed them and I forgot. There is a blue storm late in this, so we can get that also. But this is like, without him we wouldn't have any of this. Well, I guess Invisible would still work, but we would not have had the multiples Invisible Mans. But what if we do... So we have 2, 4, 5. We could just make all of these. We should make them some kind of cash thing, right? Before we just burn them. Now he's wasting cash instead, right? So I only need 5 for the blueprint in the next ante. All spade cards are debuffed. I mean... We have nothing else. So we can play the rocks with a Dusk, right? That's the easiest solution. There was a Dusk, yeah. I mean, there was going to be more problems. That's just... That's the wrong save. Let's go back like here. Right, so now we need to dig for the cash anyway. We can look for a Dusk. I think there should be one. Or a Shad, sure. We could also change suits. Just do the wheels, right? Good. Excellent wheels. Dice delivering. But we didn't even keep the dice, right? That's the one we burn. So I think there was a Dusk, I just missed it. Or did I not? Because now we are... I mean, this works, right? We can actually... This and this will play the rocks. Because it's spades that are debuffed, not face cards. We can do the most backward solution of all time. Is there a seltzer around though? We still need to burn a joker either way. Why is this so complicated? I'm just gonna do it. We keep this guy, we dump the mime. That's my solution. Usually my solutions are worse. But we can't make any cash here either, right? Because they are all debuffed. But we can do... Does that work with the rocks also? What's the... What do I not have? Alright, right, I can't discard. We can just play away if you look for the... Because we have more rocks. Well, we need to score, and the only I have this to re-trigger the rocks to beat the boss because everything is everything is dead. So do we want to just that, or do we want to do this just all in because we have the disco effect also? Let's just see it. Do a save, play the rocks. It's the 17 hands for all my dead cards. Okay, onwards to more problems. But now I have a magic trick up my sleeve, at least one. We can burn you. And we should have in 5 judgments, because we kept the showman. 2, 3, 4, 5. Pretty cool. So now we have 6 brainstorms. We have cash stuff what we can do. That's the real seed science. Don't think there's anything else cool in here. But we have... What's in the actual seed? Aren't they 14? We have even more blueprint storms. I mean, I would like to be able to pull a legendary out of nowhere, but I think we don't need... Like in Ante 19 we can pull another blueprint, but... So now we need to just use these. I think I'm gonna have to buy... Wait, were we already at the... We are already at the voucher tag, so... Do we want... Like, do we even care? I don't think we can do anything good with a negative tag anyway, right? As far as I know. Like literally. Because eternal shenanigans, so we can land like a negative showman. We also have oil and that kind of stuff and things. I think the brainstorm might be eternal, I don't know. This is like really hard to route. We can land a brainstorm and a reserved parking with 5 tags, so that's doable. How do you set up 2? I don't see an option for 2. I see only brainstorm. On a cola or a hack. Because if we need an absurd amount of tags, it's not gonna happen. I'm thinking it's better to do the voucher tag. Because if we don't, we can't bean in 24 either. And we probably are going to have to bean to be able to print more cards, because we are already printing way less cards than on the runs where we had 1200 or whatever. Also, you can get it in. But then how do we land the hero? We're going to have to do the voucher tag to get the hieroglyph anyway, right? This is not naturally in that ante, as far as I can see. It's Tarot Merchant in 17. Well, I'm gonna have to dig a bit more anyway. Could make cash fools. Because I have to start printing the other cards to live. Or to have a chance to make this work at all. Well, this run is significantly worse than anything I've done before. Like, worse cash, worse tags. I really don't want to start over either. I still don't know fully how to make that work either. So we will get like 8 tags if we go now. We could get 9 if we sell a blueprint. But I think that's it. We need to sell them now because we want to have the parking. But I'm thinking if I get the voucher tags, we can have at least the other vouchers somewhere where they make sense. I think it's the same as last time. I'm not awake enough to make sense of this. So in the stencil we only did 1 bean, but we needed less copies then, right? Way less. I mean, we can try the double anti-negative tag, but that's also going to require having the correct vouchers. And a good target in 16. Which I also don't know if we have one at all, or if it's just all eternal shenanigans. Well, we can murder Showman for now, but we're going to need him for the negative tags also, because we already have brainstorm, so this is getting too complicated again. Let's just get the cash back online at least. I guess we just ecto this up also. We have some space to work with. Now burn most of the fools. We have this. So we have this, but we don't have a mime. We have a burglar. But we still also need score. But we have loads of hands now, at least. Of course. Disco blueprints. It's not bad. So that one is on the park. Of course it is. This could be blocked into something also, maybe. Just have to see if we can start printing these. Okay, that part is working. Then we just have many hands to play instead. Because this is fast. It's not optimal cache, but it's hopefully good enough. Then we need more of these. Oh yeah, play the aces next round. It's really only the first card that matters, right? And if we have more disco queens. It's good enough last time. We can also make steel cards because we don't need gold cards with parking. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of the aces. Not remembering. Right, is there it's in 15 you said with Smeared Man. Do we have one we can buy? It's an eternal one. Not very helpful. The negative is a droll joker when I'm looking, unless you're looking in judgments. That shouldn't be that hard to find. But if we need to have one beforehand, we will have to buy it now. If I'm looking at a 15, the natural negative is a droll. Unless there's another one later that I haven't seen. But is this going to work anyway? So the smear joker is later, it's also eternal. So it's not gonna work either way. Right, and I'm just gonna... I'm just gonna go for the tags and see what we get. It's like a mine would be good for cash. Don't know where I can get one. Right, let's just go. So I save before the tags. I feel like I am gonna have to replay this entire seed. I really don't want to though. So this is not a lot of tags, but the idea is that we can still get the... can also make more cash out of the serpent. That we get the tags so that we can get retcon in time for 24. If we can't do it in 16. Right, and now play the aces. But the smeared negative is eternal. So we can't grab it anyway. Are we out of aces? No, we have one. But the cash is looking better at least. Let's save the good old one hand. And we play... I don't know, more Sock is more good because we have disco glass cards. But it's still eternal. Oh, you mean we're keeping the Sock for the icy? Yeah. So, settings. We're not gonna see it now anyway, but I'm just gonna... at least be prepared. That was animation skip still, but... we did get the Writer's Cup, right. Remembered one thing, forgot the other. Business as usual. Sock, disco, disco. No animation skip. Game speed is too super slow. None. So we should have too many vouchers available now, so that it's impossible anyway. We don't have it. No, I'm right. Speed up. You could play faster than 4 also. Wasteful good. Okay, but Is there a smeared before that? I don't know. Oh, you mean to get the slot? Yeah, that makes sense. Just get it load into a broken state. It's also unplayable game. Things. Well, that's 5 rolling, but I think we have again not enough tags so that it has base versions of tags that are coming in. Good amount of cash at least. Until we bought that thing. And in 1,000 years, we don't have that either. Well, kind of expected. I think I tried this also when using Hieroglyph to go down. But I mean, it's possible at least to get enough blueprints to print these cards. Like we need, was it 340? So we need 680 cards. And we need to be alive at that point. And we're printing now 8 per round. And we have like 90 rounds or whatever. Or we sell Showman when we have something to sell him for. So we need to find a smeared man, which we can burn the Showman for. So this one is first, and then there's a smeared later. So we could block for that also, but we don't have a dude we can use. Alright. Uncommon, whatever. We don't have that much space. I don't even know which ones are uncommon. Problem is that there is like a brainstorm in here also, but it's later. Okay, let's just try it. Well, I don't know where I had another droll available. Another Eternal smeared. And loads of just... Could also sell this guy Ecto this. But we have a parking also. Never mind. We have a negative going into next ante also, which is a bloodstone. That could probably be blocked, but this is like the stuff we're going to have to figure out in between streams. Because it's so slow to do on the fly. I mean... So there is a brainstorm before the smeared, which we're going to miss. But I'm not seeing in 15. Okay, there should be one. Like 158 cards deep. Which I guess we haven't gotten to yet. So there is a smeared we can buy. Might as well go for him. There we go. We also need the idol soon. It can blow up that one ace. Or I think I'm just gonna play around for cash. Still 47 hand size also. And we could get loads of more score by getting steel cards. Only 2, that's doable. The E's are fine, sort of. So this guy is like 340 cards deep. Not impossible. Just I don't wanna miss it. Okay, we're just a few rerolls off. Now a stone dude. Yeah, but where do we do that? Like this is the... I'm thinking it's better to go back, get the showman, get one more brainstorm. How do you know that the next one is a sock? I also have a sock that we could have sold beforehand, maybe. No, still a stone man. Right. So I don't think I've seen a stone dude. I mean, it's very likely that we rolled past one, but it's... You know, we need to find him. I can see one in 14. 2 in 14. This is a long way back. I might have a different plan if this guy exists still. He might not. Or we may have blown past him already. I think we have. Because now we're missing out on brainstorms also. So we're instead missing both things. Is there a stone man on the way? Or is he going to become something else anyway? This guy also, Wiley. Throwback. Is that the one? But it again just means we need to go back and find these guys somewhere. Somehow. Still thinking this is better to do off stream because it's just mega slow. Alright, the vouchers. But I'm missing out on a brainstorm by killing him. There's the droll. Might as well have him for blocking also, just in case. So there's a Wily, but he's eternal. There's a stone dude also. And this guy. Right. So we need to sell the sock as well, right? Or it's not gonna be possible. And then we just roll and see. So that showman could have given us a brainstorm, I think. Which is like the backup plan. So Cloud 9. We can buy that also just to see the other one. Did I not have him? Now it's the fortune teller. I don't know where he is. Should have bought the fortune teller also, I guess. That's one we had. Or is it uncommon we're looking for? Yeah. I think this is easier to do, like search through the stuff so we can plan it better. There's the throwback. Now I'm gonna miss a fortune teller instead. Yeah. There was one of him earlier. where? Here. Do we need the Wily or is it the wrong rarity? I'm just buying it so that it also blocks. Maybe that's also the wrong... Could have bought that Cloud9 also. The Wily was at the start. So now we've missed him instead. Yeah. Last one, as I'm just gonna do this some other time. So everything is super backwards now anyway. So we need you. I've written them down at least. But I'm not sure this is gonna do any good anyway. I mean, he's not gonna matter, but we might as well have him. Cloud9 we can grab. And we can grab him just to check, right? And what are we missing? Throwback only? Smeared also. Wherever he is. And I have literally no memory of where he is either. Buy this guy again to check. Well, he's just gonna become a parking statistic. Or a burglar. So we just buy it and see. No, so that's a rock man. It's also the wrong one. Looking for the throwback now, and then I'm thinking I'm gonna end. Didn't see the throwback either, right? But this is becoming so many jokers that it's not gonna be worth anyway, because we need to burn everything we have. So I'm gonna end it here, and I'm gonna think this through and plan it for next time. See if we can make it work. So thanks for watching, thanks for the help, see you around.